and welcome to another episode of the LowerBitrate Podcast. Hello.
Hello, welcome. Episode 72.
Senior citizen, officially.
Really? I thought that was at like 65.
Senior citizen plus. As usual, time to beg and pander to you. LowerBitrate.com. That's the website. All the links are there. Do us a favor. I'm going to give you a moment. Go on YouTube. Search up Lower Bitrate. See that red button there? It might not be red, but it says subscribe. Click it. Thank you. How was your
Thank
week?
you. It was all right. I got to play some Toad's Fury, aka Super Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury. I stream it for my nephew, using like screen share, and it's pretty cool. He likes it a lot. He loves watching gameplays. He was like, "Hey, can you play Mario Maker 2?" And I was like, "No." And he was so disappointed. He was like, "Well, this YouTuber I watch plays it." So I was like, "So watch him." Anyway, it's he calls it the Mario Cat Bell game, which is very accurate. Because you get this giant cat bell and fight giant Bowser like Kong versus Godzilla. So yeah, that was fun. Finished up the Nevers. That was pretty much my week. How was your week?
My week has been okay. Been playing a few different games. MLB The Show. By the way, if by any chance anyone from the Kansas City Royals organization is listening, your team is garbage. And I've been trying to get off of it for 2 in-game years, and I can't. Physically
That's funny.
cannot.
You're in
I'm locked down for 1-year deals for life. Dude,
blood in, blood out.
they're actively sabotaging my MLB season countless times. The ball's right in front of you. Why are you diving for it, bro? Hello? Anyway, I've been playing that.
Do you open card packs in that game?
You can, but it's like option. It's fucking optional for me. I'm not paying any money on that. I bought that game for $84. I'm good.
Whoa.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
bought the
people
day
get it.
one or day zero, day -4 Jackie Robinson edition where I played it like 4 days in advance.
Yeah, people get addicted to opening those packs.
No, I'm 1000% good. But they do have that, like those dynasty modes and shit where people can like spend exorbitant amounts of money and have their dream team. No, I don't care about that at all.
Mm-hmm.
I just like playing the create your own person and then, go through the game. That's my bread and butter. Everything else, I don't care about.
Right.
Um
Why don't you just recreate a player so you can get off that team?
no, I sunk cost fallacy. I've already put in too much time. Too many years, too many days, blood, sweat, and tears. I'm seeing this shit through. Yeah, that's been fun. Question mark.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the last week of the Destiny season, so I'm trying to finish up the things that I want. I'm not going for 100%. I'm just gonna finish up the season pass. I'm almost done, and get a few little things, and then I'm really done on that game. And then I've been playing Path of Exile as usual. I started a new build. Well, the one I've been playing ever since. That's been fine. I mean, I don't know. For some reason, I'm having a lot of disconnects. Not disconnects. Desyncs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been, I'm getting hit and I'm like 30 feet away from something. And then I just stop for like 5 seconds and get yeeted backwards in time.
This is in PoE.
Yeah. Which is funny because they nerfed the builds that were quote unquote ruining the servers and they're still ruined. Who knows? And then the last thing is I've been assembling the infinity bed. You know what I mean? Like the infinity gauntlet with the stones. The infinity bed. I think I nailed it.
What?
I've been assembling the infinity bed, like the infinity gauntlet, the
Yeah, I'm
collection
on.
of 5 to 6 items that have improved my bedding experience.
Okay, so you made a bed that's like the Infinity Gauntlet.
Not literally, in
This reminds
essence.
me of those car beds. You remember those?
Wrong idea. So, let me explain. I bought a new bed, right? It's a memory foam bed. Gets hot. I don't like
It's a
that.
bed. It's a bed in a box.
Bed in a box.
Yeah, those are
And
good.
it's fine by itself. Could be better though. So, throughout the last week, I purchased a whole bunch of other things for it. The baseline is the bed. The next layer up is like the hypoallergenic, like wee wee layer. I think everybody who has a dog that sleeps in their bed needs a wee wee layer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just in case.
or like a barf layer for the dog too.
Right. I could wash
Some.
sheets. I can't wash the mattress. That's fine. The wee wee layer. The wee wee layer had made it to, I don't know. It didn't really do anything except be a wee wee layer. But I was still having that. I'm sinking into the bed, but I'm also sinking into a pit of hot fire lava because my body heat is pooling in the middle of the thing, and it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Enter gel foam layer. All right, just a slab of gel foam keeps me cool. Right. Next layer up. It's a pillow topper, a bamboo pillow topper. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
very fancy, right? And then the other component would be the pillows, but I've had the pillows for a while, so I'm not counting those. And then the the chef's kiss layer on top is like bamboo sheets, dude. Yesterday I was almost absent from movie night. I knocked the fuck out. The
That's why.
fuck out. I was gone. Normally I'm a side sleeper, so I wake up with like neck pain and like shoulder pain. Not here. And my dog is another one. He sometimes he's a foot sleeper
Mm-hmm.
most of the time. But I think he enjoys the bed too because he's not a foot sleeper anymore. He's a back sleeper. The motherfucker's dug into me, spread out, like he's chilling. So yeah, that's my betting experience. Time to move on to something else where I could sink in time and money and research,
There
R
you
and D.
go.
Uh, quick reminder. Well, one, it's May the 4th. May the 4th be with thee. We have one thing to talk about on May the 4th. But
Mm-hmm.
before that, this Sunday is Mother's Day. So call your moms, hug your moms. May 9th. Do it.
It seems early this year.
Yep, it does seem a little early. Still don't know what to do for Mother's Day, but working on it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough with these times.
Well, New York is kind of there. I know other places have technically opened, um, and New York is gearing up to do the same. But if you know anything about New York, is that New Yorkers don't give a fuck usually,
Yeah.
and if you tell them, "Oh, we're opening up," like, "Yeah, we're opening up. It's fine now. Plug in." So in Yeehaw land, where relationships with cousins can be a little murky. That's fine because it's not as densely compact as New
Yeah.
York is. So a little worried about that, but I'm not quite ready to, I'm not that desperate to go to a Mother's Day dinner with a whole bunch of other people. I'm okay.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah. So hug your moms, call your moms. If you don't have a mom to hug, or I don't know, hug someone else's mom, but ask first. So May the 4th, Star Wars Day. We're recording this on Star Wars Day, right before Cinco de Mayo,
Oh yeah.
Cinco de Mayonnaise. And I think there was a show that's available now on Disney Plus. I think it's called The Bad Batch,
Okay.
and I think it's a spin-off, or it's something to do with the Clone Wars. But that's now out on Disney Plus.
Check that out.
Yeah, it should be okay because what's his face is involved. Dave Filoni.
I was like, George Lucas. Just kidding.
Yeah, he's one of the golden children of Star Wars. So he's involved in that in some type of way. But every time I see this online, my brain corrects it. Instead of being the Bad Batch, it corrects it to being the Bad Bitch.
Yeah, I thought it had. I was like, damn, Disney, that's not family friendly, is it? And then I think that's a mistake of a name.
Well, no, because I think it's something to do with the Clone Wars, and I guess the Bad Batch would be bad clones. I guess
Right, but it's a bad name. Like,
it's a bad name for me because I've been watching a lot of like mom, like vaccine memes, and they're like, "Oh, I have one big side effect. I'm a bad bitch. I'm a badass bitch," or something like that. And I thought it was really funny. But my brain keeps correcting it to be bad bitch.
yeah, it's immediately what my brain thought. So that's why it's a bad name.
Yeah. Do we have some spicy deals to talk about?
Yeah. I opened Steam and there's a Golden Week sale. It only goes until the 6th though, but it's worth it. I'll tweet about it. There's things like Nier is on sale, Death Stranding, Octopath Traveler, and Little Nightmares were some just off the top of my head. But I would check it out, guys. Maybe I'll tweet it and Lower Bitrate can retweet it. So just some really cool games.
Yeah. The one that's, I guess, Monster Hunter Iceborne. If that comes with the base game, it's spicy. I like that.
I forgot about that one.
Near Automata is a really good game. For $20, definitely get that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think they
Elon
just
Musk
came out.
loves it.
Yeah, didn't they just come out with a? It's a new game, but I want to say it's a remaster. I think it's called Near Replicant.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, but that one's 60. Yeah, this is celebrating Japanese games, right?
Yes.
Nice.
Games from Japan.
Yeah, and for the types that sub to OnlyFans, if you scroll a little bit lower, you just keep going, show more, show more, show more. We'll get to the stuff that you like, the novels, if you know what I mean.
I'm trying to see if Monster Hunter Iceborne Let's see. This content requires the base game, Monster Hunter World, on Steam in order to play.
Free.
Yeah, so it's just for like an expansion.
It might be cheaper to actually buy the pack, like for like $40 or so.
Yeah, Little Nightmares is a good deal. It's only $3.99, 80% off. And it comes with 3 DLCs. Oh no, the DLCs are $2 each.
You know if Honey Pop is on here, I'm looking for it.
What's that?
Honey Pop. You don't know what Honey Pop is?
No.
Okay, good. Save yourself. Don't Google it.
Very well.
But check this out. We're gonna definitely tell you about this beforehand. You might already know because this ends on the 6th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. So we got 2 PlayStation news today.
Woohoo!
One is spicy, one is not that spicy. So Among Us is coming to PlayStation, which I mean, I think it's besides Xbox. Is it on Xbox? Maybe. It's on the Switch though for sure. So they're gonna get Among Us. Is Among Us that big still?
Oh, hey, listeners, are you still playing Among Us? Like
Yeah, that's a
maybe
good
people are
question.
playing it mobile?
Possibly, but it's cross-platform, so it doesn't really matter, right?
True.
They're listing the platforms as Switch, PlayStation 4, Windows, Android, iOS, Xbox One, and PlayStation 5. So I guess it's available everywhere. Good for them. Good for them. Took a few years.
I can't get over this Little Nightmares deal. I'm just like staring at it. Anyway, sorry. Keep going.
Oh, it is not on Xbox. It is on Xbox Game Pass for PC. So cool.
Very cool. Sorry for the loud car going past my house.
So the Discord news, the spicy Discord news, is that Discord inked a deal with PlayStation to have Discord on PlayStation. So Discord's chat is going to be integrated in early 2022 on PlayStation 4 and PS5. I think we mentioned this years ago.
This is spicy.
This is real spicy because now there's a I don't know, there's a hesitancy for cross-platform games and having, well, let's just face it, in-game chat is trash, right? Always. Everybody sounds like they're in a wind tunnel or in someone's murder basement, and it's not a good experience, i.e. Fortnite. And having something like Discord being the vehicle or the broker to make these people integrate Discord into their game, Discord parties or whatever the case may be. Discord loses money anyway, and they don't make enough money from Nitro subscriptions or server boosts. Like, who the fuck is gonna pay $36 a year for a server boost? Like one of them. Come on, bro. And it's a win-win. They get money from Sony, I'm assuming, and Sony gets Discord. Discord, because Discord is really just like a web application, right? Because that's why it works in the browser.
Yeah, it's great.
So this is a win-win, and they could broker a relationship with PlayStation and Xbox to have some sort of like integration, and especially the Switch too.
That's probably what Microsoft was trying to do, but didn't that purchase fall through?
Yeah, that was rumored. I don't know how truthful it was. It was just kind of like one of those insider rumors that Discord was going to get purchased by Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think that Discord should be its own thing to like broker this, right? Because they're an independent third party. I think Nintendo and PlayStation would be more inclined to integrate it with their hardware if it's a third party versus Microsoft controlling it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because then it looks less like a win for Microsoft and it looks like a win for everybody. And I think the console that could benefit the most from this is the Switch. The Switch's online capabilities are trash. Trash. The only game on the platform that's first party Nintendo that has the invite feature that has been there for years is Super Mario Party, and that came out when we talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So heavily underutilized what they're doing. So yeah, bravo to Discord. Finally. So 2022, look out for it. It's gonna be on PlayStation's uh coming soon. And we have some Xbox news. One of them I think is really, 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 really fucking funny. So they did this whole Inside Infinite April 2021 like super super serious blog post about how it's going to be so great on PC.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess this dude is I don't know if uh, he's a development lead for Halo Infinite PC. And you know it's going to be good when the first question they start out with is, when did you first become a PC gamer and how long have you been working on games for the PC? Oh yeah, this game is gonna bomb on PC. Microsoft can never, ever get PC ports right. No company can. So I am pumped to see this bullshit absolutely flop on itself.
Right.
But they have some cool stuff in here, like, support for 32:9 monitors, for the 6 people in the world to have one, and everything else. Talking about all the graphics things that you can put on to make the game look extra good, even though a GTX or RTX 3080 cost $3,000 almost.
Oof.
Yeah, I had a little bit of when I first bought the computer, the second computer, I had a little bit of what do you call that when you have guilt? Buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
Damn, I shouldn't have spent all that money. Ugh, I feel bad about it. And then a deal fell through where I was gonna basically ship off the computer with a 2080 Ti and keep the 3080. And now the computer that I paid for doesn't come back in stock because they don't have any more of them. And I paid less for the entire computer than it costs for just the graphics card. So funny how that happened. Yeah, this is gonna be poopy. I'm here for it. Also, on the Xbox,
Mm-hmm.
they boosted whole bunch of frame rates on the Xbox, which goes to show you that this was a list of games that literally ran at 30 FPS no matter what. Old shit, old clunkers like Assassin's Creed Unity. Remember that one? That piece
Do.
of shit now runs at 60 FPS automatically. A bunch of
Yikes.
these games are old. Like, have you ever? Okay, close your eyes and think about this. Right, you're sitting down. You have 2 people or one person next to you. Right, you're playing on it on Xbox Series X. Right,
Mm-hmm.
both have controllers in hand. What could make this good? What could make this the best experience ever? Oh, I know. Playing Overcooked 2 at 120 FPS. Come on. who's running this? Overcooked 2 at 120 FPS.
The relationship ender.
Now in faster frame rates, so you can hate each other just a little bit faster. This is cool though that they're updating these games, because some of these things are not good. Like give me a Halo 4 120 FPS update, please. Something. Anyway.
Ooh.
Let's talk about TV stuff and movie stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
But first, I've been seeing a lot of slander on my timeline about Tenet, more than usual, and I'm okay with it. But before you slander Tenet, you have to say Oscar-winning movie Tenet first. Otherwise, I will not acknowledge you. Anyway, let's talk about the movie we watched. What do we do every Monday?
We have a movie night in Discord. Join us. Find the link at lowerbitrate.com. And we have a good time. This Monday was a real good, crazy time, I think, because of the movie we watched. Sorry to bother you, but join us on Mondays. We make mostly good choices for the movies.
Mostly. Okay, I want to know what you think about this movie.
I love this movie. And this was my second time watching it, but I'd forgotten mostly what exactly happened. But I was just dying laughing at so many parts. I have worked in 2 call centers, and just the call center satire, it wasn't satire. It was like spot on what it's like to work in those environments, and him being like, when they use the word team, that means you have to do something you're not going to get paid for. So when Keith was like, does this mean we're going to be getting paid more? They were like, what? And they just like dodged the question. So just several things made me laugh. First of all, about it seems like the movie is about someone who works in a call center.
Only? That's all you got from it?
No, just the beginning. I didn't want to go through. There's like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, I think. Let's talk about Act 1 first.
Okay. So movie's
Where
interesting.
it's funny, like the beginning scene with them in bed, and then the garage door opens, you realize he lives in the garage.
Yeah, of his uncle's house, where he tries to guilt trip him about taking everything and charging everyone for it. He's like, dude, and giving it to your family. It's like he's talking about the 1%ers, like the Walmarts and shit.
By
He's
the
like,
way,
dude.
the uncle was Terry Crews.
Yeah, he literally had like, I don't know, 4 parts in this, 4 lines maybe. That was funny. This movie as a whole is like a commentary. Well, first of all, it's fucking weird. This is the first and only movie from Boots Riley, and yeah, what an intro to filmmaking. It took quite a bit to get this movie to theaters, or to people actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a commentary about capitalism, which I thought it was. It did it in such a way. It was not overly stuffy, you know what I mean, or overly heavy either, because that's some of these like social films have that like undertone where it's like really stuffy and it's like really fucking boring. I was not bored at all throughout this whole film. It not what I expected though. I tell you that I didn't see this. I didn't check like what it was or anything like that. I don't know what the big. I guess the big twist was at the very end with the people. We'll talk about that in a minute. I guess
Yeah.
that was a big twist, but to me it was kind of so out there that it didn't seem like a big twist.
Or if you watch it again, you see it coming. Like
Right. I think I caught on to it like pretty quickly.
things start a little weird. Like I like how they play with time. You know, like when she got hired, they don't show her getting hired like they did Keith. It just shows Tessa Thompson at like she just like rolls backwards. It kind of the timing playing with that reminded me of Scott Pilgrim
Yeah.
a lot.
And this is kind of, it's loosely based on Boots Riley's life, right? So I did a little bit of research after, and Detroit, the Tessa Thompson's character. And by the way, I will say I was wrong. I haven't seen her in much other than, you know, the typical stuff like the Marvel stuff, the Westworld stuff. Um, she was great in this. I really liked
Yeah.
her. I really, really liked her in this movie.
Did she remind you at all of Clementine from Eternal Sunshine?
Kind of. She's like very
Yeah.
like loose cannon, you know, free spirited. I hate that word, free spirited. Yes, she did. Um, so her name is Detroit, and that's such a weird name, right? Why would
Yeah.
you name? But the she the reasoning for it is, you know, they're like, oh well, your name is really Detroit. It's like, yeah, my parents wanted me to have an American name.
Yeah. What is more American than Detroit?
Detroit.
And what happened to Detroit? Yeah.
Yeah. But he actually lived in Detroit at one point during his life. So, and also Oakland, because I think primarily this takes place in around Oakland. So
Yeah. And that's not an exaggeration. Like that's what Austin is like. That's what LA is like. And I guess Oakland too. So
so yeah,
rough out on the streets, basically.
rough out on these streets. Yeah, so I had no expectations going into this. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. The twist didn't really get me, like most people. Most of it was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, what is this? What am I watching? Because it was so out there. Like the delivery of the lines and the delivery of the information was so unorthodox. It kind of caught me off guard.
Mm-hmm.
That's most of the things that caught me off guard. Um, Overall, though, I'd say it's a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I don't quite remember what happened during like the middle, like the second part. Was that like when he became a power caller or whatever?
Yeah, he became a power, forget what it's called, power caller. And that coincided with the conflict of the Union.
Right.
So that was Act Two. He rises and the struggle rises for his coworkers, which is capitalism, right? Only one, the strongest will win. And that will be only one.
Yeah. It was. So let's just talk about the whole thing, because I feel like we can't talk about what the movie means unless we like just let it all out there. So
Yeah, so just let me just do a quick like Act One, Act Two synopsis. Is that
yep.
it's funny and it starts lighthearted, and then you realize something's a little bit weird because they play with time in the transitions between scenes and transition between like big plot points. It's hard to describe, but I really like the way that Boots Riley did it. This movie starts out Act One with someone getting hired in a call center, and they really play around with that idea and how that is like what do you call it, like a microcosm of what's going on in the world is the way they treat their workers. Very little pay, only commission, and you're doing miserable work, which is outbound cold calling. And oh, by the way, did you love that way that they would drop him into every scene with the person he was talking to?
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting.
Especially when he became a power caller and was he turned on the bidet for the Japanese salesman.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost my mind. Yeah, so there's very funny moments. And you think it's just the story of him rising to the top, which is becoming this power caller. But there's a lot of like a big part of the movie is a discussion of white voice versus black voice. And they even mention, like, oh, well, people think I sound white anyway, Lakeith says. So I don't think that's something that I really have the, right to make a commentary on, but just it's there, like the really complex layers of racism, even internalized racism. So
Yeah, that's more of a culture thing. Within, I want to say black culture, I've witnessed people get chastised for sounding proper, and I think they explained it really well in the film, where he said people think that I sound white. He's like, no, that's Will Smith. That's Will Smith white. You just sounding proper. And then they actually put who voiced the white voice? Was that Patton Oswalt?
Steve Buscemi and
Steve
then David
Buscemi?
Cross.
Really?
Steve Buscemi, no. Steve Buscemi was Danny Glover. And then David Cross was Lakeith. And
Wow.
if you want to Google that, that's fine. I just did that based on recognition.
Let's see.
Yeah.
David. Oh, okay. I am right. Half right. So Cassius white voice was David Cross.
Mm-hmm.
Patton Oswalt was Mr. Blank's white voice. I knew I heard him.
Mm-hmm.
Lily James was Detroit's white voice, British white voice. I don't see Steve Buscemi.
It had to be. His voice is so recognizable. I want to talk about, after we determine the voice, I want to talk about Steve Yeun. Steve Yeun
Ryan
in this movie.
Corsi was Langston's white voice.
Oh. Sounded exactly like Steve Buscemi to me. So in my mind, I just, like you did with Raya in The Last Dragon.
Yep. I'm not against that. What were you saying?
So what happens in Act 2 really revolves around Cassius, aka Lakeith, rising in his career. But then things like tensions really flare, even with his girlfriend too. The more he succeeds, like he's screwing his friends. Like he started to support the cause of unionizing, but then he backed out when they obviously were using him, right? Like, guess what? Oh, they want a union. Let's take their like star player and move him up. So it's a big. I think they were trying to like cut off the head of the snake so that the tail would die too, but it didn't work. What do you
No.
think about that?
I think it's meant to be like ambiguous. Like I don't know Mr. Blank's motives. It could have gone either way though. He could have been so good that they wanted him upstairs,
Mm-hmm.
but also it could have been to derail the striking. So it could be 50-50. I don't know. I would lean more so on the lines of evil corporation tries to stop unionizing Amazon. um Not out of the realm of possibility, Marie, for me. So
Yeah. Did you like Glenn in this movie?
yes, Steven Yeun. He played like a very somber, chill, mysterious dude.
Yeah, he was smooth. He was
He
putting the
was
moves
smooth.
on Tessa Thompson. Like, hey, what's the story with you and Cassius? Like,
I didn't like how they didn't explain it. I wanted to see a fight. You know what I mean? I wanted to see some bows being thrown.
Nah. I like the way they handled it where it was her doing, her choice. It didn't involve the two men. I thought it was well done.
Nah, there's a homie rule. There's a homie
I
rule.
don't think no, I don't think well, Cassius broke that with breaking he was a scab. He would break the what's it called? The picket line?
Yeah, I guess so.
Anyway. Yeah, I don't think they were homies, so sorry, I don't think your thing applies. But I feel like he went about it in the right way. Like, why would he have to go talk to, this other guy if he wants to like date her? He's not her dad.
That's very true. But
He asked, he didn't just put the move on.
yeah, but that's like the nice guy shit. You know what I mean? Like, hey, how
Hmm.
you doing? How's your day? Oh, you know, the dudes in the DMs talking about like, how do you feel? You know, type shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sending you feet memes. What? Okay, keep going.
so yeah, this is Are we gonna talk about the third act?
Sure. Do you want to say what happens?
Yeah. So finally, I think his name is Steve Lift. Steve Lift is kind of like the CEO guy for WeWork. WeWork is, I don't know, insert company here, you know, mega corporation conglomerate, but their whole thing is they sign lifetime contracts and they have like lifetime labor. It's assuming that the job market in this universe of the film is so horrible that he has to get this telemarketer job that's only based on commission, no benefits or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the only alternative, it seems, is to be this WeWork thing. And this WeWork thing, you know, they basically look like the people in 15 Million Merits in Black Mirror, where they're all wearing the same shit and they're all doing some type of labor for whatever. So you could insert whatever company, Amazon, Walmart, whoever, be this, you know, nasty, in my opinion, faceless company. And so Lakeith's character, Cassius Green, after getting called up to the power broker, which I thought was fucking hilarious, by the way. Hope you didn't masturbate today. And then the team leader, that lady, I don't know her name, like her demeanor changed.
Kate Berlant.
Yeah.
She's does a lot in comedy. That's the only reason I know her name.
Her demeanor completely changed towards him after he became a power caller. Like she was ready to just like, you know, yank one out of him in the elevator.
She was dressed differently too. Like she was wearing just different clothing. Like the power callers all dressed differently than everybody else.
Yeah.
It was kind of like Hunger Games, but really toned down.
Yeah, they don't have any computers up there. So yeah, he gets called up. His first deal, I believe, is with the Japanese man.
I think so.
And
He's selling labor to him.
yeah, so basically they deal in manpower and firepower. So the whole thing with WeWork ties into the power callers because they're basically selling like human labor.
Well,
It's
picture the reason, in my opinion, that is what it is picture the two worst things you could deal in. Like a weapons dealer and then someone who deals in slave labor,
yeah, slave
right?
trade.
Like,
I
yeah,
think something was mentioned along the lines of like sweatshop workers were treated better, right?
yeah, yeah, they
And
were.
in modern society, sweatshop workers having someone having a sweatshop worker work on your product is deemed like not humane, right? Like they're working for, you know, cents on the dollar to make crazy amounts of profit for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this movie mainly because I kind of agree with all the points. Like I don't when you really sit down and think about it, you're making thousands upon thousands of dollars for a company and you're getting paid oftentimes minimum wage. And you're told to smile about it. And
Be a
every
team
time,
player.
yeah, every time I would get like chastised at, traditional jobs like Micro Center, where I think the reason why I quit was because I was in charge of the mice aisle and I spent, mind you, I get commissions just like this movie. And if you tell me to go into an aisle and work on it, I can't make money. And after, working on the fucking mice aisle, which by the way looks the same as I did it before, because I've been there times, times after I've quit, like years later. Looks the same exact fucking way. And the district manager came in and was like, "Oh yeah, I don't like this. Do it again." What? What the fuck don't you like about alphabetically put? Hello?
Just swoop in, swoop out.
Yeah, swoop in, swoop out, doesn't know anything. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm good. Thank you. So, yeah, from having that stark contrast difference from basically being a shit eater downstairs at the telemarketers, but you have to take the stairs, by the way, to get
Yeah, that
upstairs.
was funny.
Um, versus the elevator. The power callers have their own elevator, which with a big long combination lock or whatever is in
Yeah,
the
what did you think of that? I was wondering, I thought that was just for comedic effect, but I was like, I feel like this isn't just simply because it's funny. Like the pin code to get the elevator to work was probably 50 numbers long.
yeah. I think it's purposefully there so nobody can crack it. You just get up, it'll take you a little bit longer, but you have the added benefit of nobody getting up there.
Maybe the humor of it would be easier for you to just climb the stairs.
Probably, yeah. Probably be
Yeah.
faster for you.
Something I wanted to mention too is I love Tessa Thompson's earrings. They always had something very like radical to say. I wish I could think of one example, but then I also love that what was what was the name of the company where the minions would work?
WeWork?
That's what I thought. Is it really called WeWork? That's a real company.
Yeah, it's called WeWork.
Okay.
I think so.
Anyway, at WeWork, which is hilarious because that's a Austin company. They dress them as minions, like from Despicable Me. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, they have like they have a uniform.
Right, but they look like the minions because they're minions. Anyway, it's not that deep.
So, okay, so let's get to the twist. The twist is that humans have limits, and the body has limits, and obviously that this WeWork company is in the slave business, in the business of manpower, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they developed a way so that people can work longer and harder, and they turn you into basically a minotaur.
Equine sapien.
Is that like a more human minotaur?
I don't know. They just made that up. That's what they were calling them.
Horse people with two legs. That's basically what it is. Um,
And the big old horse dong for some reason. That was funny.
yeah, that the joke thing when he went to the doctor was like, "Is it bigger? Is it bigger?" The doctor's looking at him like, "What the fuck?" And then he
Yeah,
goes
just
back
like,
to his ex-girlfriend. It's like, "Is it bigger?" Like,
yeah, she's like, I don't
looks the
know.
same.
He was so paranoid.
Yeah, and then he eventually turns into after snorting what seems to be the longest line of coke. No, second longest line of coke in the movie.
Mm.
He turns into one at the very end of the film. So yeah, this is
Did you
like
think it was? You think it was funny? He was like, the jade door. This is very obviously an olive door because he
right.
went in the wrong door to find the
Yes.
bathroom. Like, what would have happened if he had found the bathroom and not the secret horses?
Yeah, but it looks the same. Like
Also, if you open a door and see what he saw, which was like rows of pens with just like shower, some sort of like water thing blasting at the cage, don't keep walking. Like, GTFO, time to go.
yeah, you don't look into billionaires, secret rooms.
Never enter the basement either. Never go into a rich person's basement. There's probably a dungeon.
So
Anyway,
so how do you feel about the messaging on this movie?
I liked it a lot. I picked up on like many themes. I thought it wasn't tropey or pandering at all. I thought it had a lot of really important things to say, and the comedy landed. I thought the jokes were funny. A theory I had, I forgot to bring up sooner, is in rewatching it, I don't know if you remember, but they go and they pick her up from work, like all the homies, and it's his best friend, who I'm sorry I forgot his name, and then Steve Yoon, and then her, right? Well, there was like three in the back, and like Keith was driving, and then randomly they just like slam on the brakes, and he was like, and then he says sorry, and he keeps going. And I think one interesting theory would be they died after that point, and then what they go through from then on is limbo, which is they all are working at the call center, and then who goes to heaven, who goes to hell, like they're just stuck in this workplace limbo
Hmm.
where we work. I don't know if you could, what is hell? You think WeWork would be, but then it actually turns out being a power caller is the true hell because you get turned into a horse.
Yeah, going upstairs would be considered ironic because it's an actual hell. Like there's a lot of morality stuff in here. I never heard
Yeah, a
of
lot
that
of
theory. I wanted to talk to
ethics.
you about it first and
Mm-hmm.
mention it before I had any like theories. Um, well, I haven't had any time to look at all the videos, but that seems plausible. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely conspiracy theory ish though, because there would have to be something to.
Look, it works if you watch it from then on out, like with like, oh, they're dead now.
Yeah, but I
Because
would like a little bit more.
the next scene she just appears at the call center.
Hmm.
You remember that? Where she
Yeah,
just kind
yeah,
of rolled out?
maybe. Now that you mention it, okay, possibly.
Or just something that works. Like, I think it really works. I don't think it's that crazy. But yes, this movie is mainly about capitalism. I don't think Boots Riley wrote and directed it with the intention of it being like a theory on life and death. But I think there were elements of perhaps like, what is the true heaven? What is the true hell?
Well, it is kind of life and death because some people just collapse under the fucking weight of capitalism. It's either you make it or you don't make it.
Mm-hmm.
They touched on this briefly, but there was I remember seeing some tents, some homeless tents.
That's what I meant Austin is like. Oh gosh, this makes me sick to my stomach. Austin just had early voting, and 63% of Austinites are in favor of something called Prop B. I hope I'm explaining this correctly, but basically the proposition would make it illegal to camp in like non-camping zones, which is targeted at homelessness, because that's what I meant earlier when I was like, this is what LA is like, this is what Oakland is like, are tent cities everywhere.
Yeah.
Like and they're right up adjacent because it's because of gentrification. Like people don't leave the neighborhoods they were priced out of. They stay and they just camp in these tents, and it's all up and down, like under the highways, under the overpasses, just anywhere they can find some sort of shelter. And yeah, that's real. Like they didn't exaggerate that in any way.
Yeah, just look up if you're ever interested on this subject. Just look up Skid Row. Um, Skid Row is an area in, I believe, California, where it's just basically a homeless area.
San Francisco is the same way. Lots of tent cities because of how expensive it is to live there and how quickly that happened.
Yeah.
The locals get pushed out because of capitalism.
A lot of people get priced out of things. Quite literally, I shared something with you today about. We talked about these sneakers a few months back on the podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were supposed to be accessible to people with disabilities. And I believe last time I checked, the retail price was anywhere from like $100 to $150.
Mm-hmm.
And the heartless reselling cucks decided that they wanted to buy all them up, and supply and demand makes these sneakers $700 for people with actual motor disabilities that need this kind of sneaker to be priced out of it. And it's a very real thing. And I think that this movie is, I think people should watch it because it gives you a very candy, has a candy layer to it of like comedy and having people having fun and showing you these things. But it's a very real thing. Like there are people who can't afford to live, and there are people who, get priced out of neighborhoods. Like some hedge fund or media group or holdings group comes in and decides, hey, you see your New York City apartment that's been rent controlled, that's been in your family for the last 20 years? We
Mm-hmm.
own that now. So we're going to do everything in our power to make it virtually impossible for you to have a nice time living here because you didn't accept our offer to move out. Our lowball offer that you're not going to be able to find any housing in New York City because there's no housing development in New York City. So if you don't want to pay $3,000 a month in whatever place you decide to go,
Mm-hmm.
there's the street.
Yeah, get
That's
a
it.
tent.
Yep. That happens quite far too often. This was a good movie to me. I didn't come away hating it. Not what I expected though. What I expected from, it kind of hinted towards this, but maybe it was just like my personal headcanon like bias, was I thought that he was going to go on a murderous rampage at some point.
Yeah.
Because so what I saw in the trailer was him having a head wound, but I thought that was him like going fucking John Rambo or something, like just crazy, just finger guns blasting because he lost it. That's what I was thinking, but no, he just got clocked with a can of Coke that was frozen or something.
Yeah, and then it became a meme.
Yeah, he became a meme, and then he used it against them.
True.
This was
In
good.
the end, he kind of did go on a rampage. The very
Yeah,
end.
at the very end, Steve Lift, the CEO of WeWork, gets killed because he gets turned into a horse person. I would have liked to see that, but we didn't. He knew the
Bunch of angry
password too,
horsemen.
which was funny as hell because they use the same password.
For everything.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
You know what? Corporations really are like that.
It's true. There's so many people managing things that you would be surprised how many things are 1, 2, 3, 4 star.
Here's the thing, corporations are managed by people. So Yeah, passwords will be the simplest thing. I can only picture at Sony. The hackers were like, the password is password, you know?
Password is Xbox sucks. Yeah, watch this movie. It's on Hulu. It is good.
Very good.
All right, so I don't think we have enough time for a full in-depth of the Nevers,
I
but
don't think there's that much in depth though.
no. So I want to get an overall vibe check on episodes 1 to 3. What are you feeling? I haven't seen episode 4, so what are you feeling? How are you feeling?
Well, yeah, I haven't seen episode 4 either, but episode 3 was sleepy. Was
You think so?
Yeah, I thought it was boring.
No, man. That lady got fucking. She got drive-by. The little singer one.
Yeah.
That wasn't spicy enough for you?
No, I guess I expected her to die like a long time ago.
I did not. I thought they were building her up to be, one of the main characters or somebody that they were harboring. But
Oh.
yeah. So this show is basically about an entity that comes to, what is this? A Victorian town? Not Victorian? Maybe Victorian?
Maybe Victorian or sometimes what we think of Victorian is actually like Edwardian, but who cares?
It's okay. So it's pretty much before the Industrial Revolution, right?
Yes, but it's a fictionalized, like it's very steampunk.
Well, it's technically yes, because of the gifts, but time wise, it's supposed to be before the Industrial Revolution. I want to say, at least that's what I think. Anyway, it's not. It's really not that important. So, some ship rolls in straight out of like Halo 4, and just blesses these people with gifts. And I initially thought that it was only women, but no, it is men too that get blessed. So there's a doctor that
And
can
children.
heal you, and children. There's a doctor that can heal you. There's a girl that's fucking 10 feet tall. There's a woman that can see electricity. The true lady, I don't know the main lady. I like her. I think she's like a good mix of like snarky and jaded. But then she also has this, I don't know, shroud of mysteriousness to her. Like I
Yeah.
kind of don't know like what she does exactly.
She like sees the future.
That's one of the things, but I think that she has more than one little quirk thing.
Ah.
Because yeah, there were some lines that were said that were kind of questionable by other characters, mainly the Melanie character, or Melody, whatever her name is. Malady. She said some questionable things that hint to something more, but I don't remember exactly what they were. Maybe like, shedding skin or something like that. Yeah, they've built this, world where people have quirks, and it's your typical us versus them. We're threatened by this, etc., etc. And I like it.
Somehow obsessed. Like they wanted to take pictures with the giant girl.
Yeah. So it's kind of like this mix of, it's like going to the circus, right? And seeing like the bearded lady.
Right.
Like if you were to see her walking down the street, you would have a different reaction versus her being like in a cage or something.
I don't think your reaction would be different. You still oogle her and talk about her. It's just a different scenario where you could debate who's
No, it
in
would be
control.
different. Because you have to think about this in like the mindset of not 2021 you. This would be like 1800 you. Right? Where things like this are considered like, I mean, not that long ago from this point in time, if they're following like history, people were burned at the stake for being witches. You know what I mean? So I think that ideology of like thinking of seeing someone in the street like the bearded lady and having an adverse reaction to her being there, versus her being in a cage as like a circus attraction would be two different things. So I think they kind of they wanted to, display that in a way where like the rich people will be like, "Ooh, look at this! I'm different. Look, it's like sitting. It's like taking a picture with a tiger. You know what I mean? Like a captive tiger. You're taking a picture with it, and mostly people will be like, "Oh, look at me! I'm different, or I'm brave." Versus you'd be scared if you saw them in the street. You saw just a
Okay.
wild tiger.
Yeah.
It's one of those. I don't know if I'm getting this like off correctly, but it's like one of those things where context matters, like how it's being shown. I don't know. I'll think about this like later when it's not important that it comes out of my mouth. But yeah,
And after we see more of the show.
yeah. So it's for the first 3 episodes. I don't want to go into complete detail about what happens, but there's obviously some good people and some bad people, multiple bad people, but
Mm.
I think there's one thing that I want to talk about that I think is happening, and there's one person that's kind of playing both sides, which is the crippled lady. Um, what's her name again? Mrs. Something.
I don't know.
Crippled lady. She's in a wheelchair. Can't miss her. She ain't going nowhere. LOL. Um, she's been seen helping the people in the orphanage. The orphanage is where all the touch people have, or most of the touch people have been there.
Yeah.
And then she's also has been seen in some dungeon place where people they've been lobotomizing and digging up, having the lobotomized people dig up where this Halo ship crashed.
Oh, okay.
So she was seen both ways, but I I think that's bait because I just think that's bait. Why would they tell you that so early? That she is playing both sides. I don't think that's the case. I think that because there was, I think two different things that happened in my mind that make this seem like just a complete redirection.
Mm-hmm.
When Marie or whatever her name is, Maria was singing, there's a song that she sings. She also just died. Only the touch can hear it. They showed quite a few people getting touched by this song. They showed her son or her nephew, wherever that guy is, people in the crowd, kids, etc. One person they didn't show was the lady. They didn't show her. So I think that's one thing that's very important. Also, her son or whoever
Mm-hmm.
is touched. He could basically everything comes back to this shit show Game of Thrones. He could basically do the Bran in Game of Thrones and go into birds and shit. So
He's just a bird man.
he's Birdman. So he's touched, and the electric lady that builds electric cars and shit is touched as well, and they kind of like started liking each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then the mom was like, "No, stop that right now."
Yeah.
And they kind of like broke it off. He was an asshole. I don't think he meant to be. He just had to be. But I
Mm-hmm.
think there's something more going on with her that we don't know.
Why do you think that?
I don't know. I just think
Oh,
when
you mean the
shows
the lady in the wheelchair, not Prudence.
not Prudence, no. The
Okay.
lady in the wheelchair,
Yeah.
I think that when people show things to you this early on, like, oh, look at this
Yeah.
bad person, I think that's just a redirection of something else.
Yes. Agreed. She's playing both sides. We don't know why.
I I honestly think that she has a twin.
Huh.
She has a twin, or she was cloned, or she can be at two places at once, which would explain something. I just don't know. I haven't seen episode 4 yet, but that's pretty much where we're at in episode 3. Is that they're kind of trying to rile up all the people, and we don't know who's who. They're still like showing the playing field on who the players are, and like what their goals are. So we're still kind of like shifting through that right now. So we shall see.
Yeah, I'll keep watching it. I mean, I really like the first 2 episodes, and I want to see where it goes.
Have you not seen episode 3?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I was about to
It was
say.
sleepy to me though.
Rewatch it again. I think you'll have a new appreciation for it.
Very well.
All right, we'll talk about episode 4. So how we're gonna handle this is we'll talk about episode 4 when episode 5 comes out. Because watching this Monday night after movie night is kind of fucking pain in the ass. So
Yeah, I'm not able to do that.
so we'll stagger the episode a week. So we'll talk about episode 4 when episode 5 comes out.
Weeks are busy. The only time I really watch TV is on the weekends.
Yeah, so let's keep it that way. I like them when we stagger it. When we talk about give you a week to watch it, basically, before we spoil it. Anyway, that's it for me.
Yeah, that's it for me too. Thanks for listening to episode 72 of the Lower Bitrate Podcast. Check out our links at lowerbitrate.com. And as always, thank you for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.